Hi, I'm Rob Douglas. I'm the President and CEO of Entertech Systems. There's so many things going on in the world of biometrics. I'm grateful for the opportunity to just share our perspective to help you advance your own business interests. Entertech Systems was formed 5 years ago, and our primary mission is to overcome the obstacles to mainstream adoption of biometric access. And the reason why we set out on this mission 5 years ago was we fundamentally believed at the time, and we believe even more now, that the 7 billion of us on the planet would prefer to be ourselves to prove who we are in order to get access or conduct our daily lives. If you think about it, you think about a key, a technology, or a card technology, the moment you don't have it, your day stops as you now try to scramble to find an alternate way to be able to prove who you are in order to move through the next door of your day. And so we fundamentally believe that the 7 billion of us would prefer to be ourselves, and at the same time, companies, whether they're commercial companies, education, healthcare industry, financial service industry, and so on, would prefer to manage people as opposed to approximations of people. So we decided 5 years ago that this would be our contribution, is to find ways to make it easier to bring about mainstream adoption of biometric access. Now forward wind to where we are today. Wow, have things changed. In fact, significant change. We set out to go and reduce the cost, make these things simpler to use, easier for people to onboard onto these systems, and yet here we are today. What are the fundamental shifts we see into the future? Well, the biggest shift, I think, is in fact what we see now with the smartphone. This is the iPhone 5S, and this particular unit is doing the verification of who I am based on what? My biometric. In fact, can you imagine what it's going to be like over the course of the next 12 months when 25 to 50 million of us every day are constantly using our biometric for access to our phone? Imagine how that's going to transcend how people think about the use of biometrics in their everyday life. Another trend that we see is that in the last 10 years, biometrics, there was a small community worldwide that looked at biometrics as actually a threat to privacy. In fact, if I timestamp with you, the last 10 years was the concern of biometrics is actually impacting my privacy. In the next 10 years, we're going to see the exact opposite. In fact, people are going to want biometrics to protect their privacy. That's the primary reason why they're going to want biometrics. The reason why I want biometrics in this device is to protect my privacy. So we see a fundamental shift in terms of how society, the 7 billion of us on the planet, are going to view biometrics. In fact, as we look out into the future, we're going to see biometric technologies being consumed in every aspect of our lives. In fact, another shift that we see is back in the early 2000s with the 9/11 event, great investment was occurring into government solutions to looking for biometric identity management type applications. Here we are today, forward looking. The investment that's going on to build out applications in the commercial marketplace is significant. In fact, if I timestamp 3 years ago to where we are today, as I'll show you here in a moment, the amount of applications and use of biometrics in everyday life is extraordinary. As a data point about the market progress, Frost & Sullivan recently reported that in 2012, the global spend for biometric anything was 1.5 billion. Their forecast is that by 2019, we'll be consuming $6.2 billion worth of biometric anything. So that's got a compound annual growth rate of 22%. There's been a lot of talk over the years about the acceleration of biometric in the consumption in our daily lives. We have hit that tipping point where we now see evidence of it in many facets of the way our society lives. It's a great time to be able to drive value and create value for end users using biometric technologies.